Let's start.
The Bride of Banff Springs Hotel.
The Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta stands like a castle carved into the mountains, wrapped in mist and old whispers. Long before it became a tourist attraction, the hotel hosted grand weddings for wealthy families in the early 1900s. The bride arrived at the hotel days before her ceremony. Guests said she was glowing with excitement, constantly checking her veil, laughing with her bridesmaids, and practicing her walk down the grand staircase that curved toward the ballroom. On the afternoon before the wedding, the bride insisted on rehearsing her entrance just once more. She gathered the long silk train of her gown and began descending the steps while the pianist played softly below. Halfway down, something went wrong. Her heel slipped on the polished stairs. She stumbled, lost her balance, and fell. Guests heard a scream that echoed through the ballroom. She tumbled down the last stretch of the staircase, her head hitting the marble floor. The bridesmaids rushed forward, and within seconds, the celebration was replaced by silence. The young bride had died instantly. Her fiancé, devastated, demanded the decorations be taken down immediately. The wedding hall was closed for weeks. Workers claimed they saw a woman in a wedding dress wandering the staircase late at night. One night, a guard swore he saw a bride dancing alone in the empty ballroom before she vanished when he approached. Over the years, more sightings followed, always of the same figure, a bride in white, moving silently through the halls, as if still trying to finish the moment she never got to live. To this day, some guests at Banff Springs say they feel a cold breeze on the staircase, like someone brushing past them with a long, flowing gown.
Rufina Cambaceres. In 1902, the daughter of Cambaceres, Rufina, was only 19. She was preparing to attend an event. While getting ready, Rufina suddenly collapsed in her bedroom. No breath, no heartbeat. Doctors rushed in and declared her dead from a sudden heart attack, a diagnosis common at the time when medicine was still limited. The next day, Rufina's body was placed in an elegant coffin and taken to La Recoleta Cemetery, the grand resting place of Argentina's elite. But something felt wrong. The cemetery workers later claimed they heard faint noises that night. The next morning, the coffin's lid was slightly shifted. When they lifted the lid, the truth froze everyone in place. Rufina's body was no longer lying peacefully. She was turned to the side. Her fingers were bloody. The inside of the coffin was scratched violently. Doctors realized the horrifying truth. Rufina had not been dead. She had been in a deep cataleptic trance, a condition that mimics death. She woke up inside her coffin, trapped in the darkness, and fought desperately to escape until she suffocated. To this day, visitors to Recoleta say they feel a strange chill near her tomb. Others see her statue's eyes following them as they walk past.
The Ghost. Once, a family stayed in the room No. 873 of Banff Springs Hotel. Many decades ago, a couple and their young daughter checked into room 873 for what was supposed to be a peaceful vacation. On their second night, something went wrong. Guests on the same floor reported hearing screams around midnight. By the time security arrived, the hallway was silent. They knocked on room 873, no answer. They used the master key, and what they found inside became hotel legend. The mother and daughter were discovered dead, both violently attacked. The father was lying near the bed, severely injured but still breathing. He fought off an intruder. The family simply died tragically. But the strange part came afterward. The hotel deep cleaned the room, repainted the walls, but every time new guests stayed there, the front desk received terrifying complaints. Blood handprints of a child appearing on the bathroom mirror, a woman's voice sobbing near the bed, the sound of running in the hallway, lights turning on and off, guests waking up to see a small figure standing at the foot of the bed. Cleaning staff said that no matter how hard they scrubbed, tiny fingerprints kept reappearing on the mirrors. Finally, the hotel had enough. They closed room 873. If you walk down the hall late at night, and if you press your ear against it, you can hear faint knocking from the other side. Room 873 may be sealed forever, but what happened inside it never truly left. The Witch of Cinco Saltos. In the year 1920, when a young girl, barely 12, was found drowned in the reservoir. But the details were never simple. She wasn't playing near the water. She had been thrown in. Over the years, people hiking near the reservoir began reporting the same terrifying sight. A pale figure standing on the shoreline, her long hair dripping, her clothes soaked, staring with empty eyes at anyone who approached. She didn't move, she didn't speak, but she watched. In the 1960s, teenagers would dare each other to drive past the lake at night. They claimed that as they turned the curve near the reservoir, a woman suddenly appeared in the middle of the road, forcing them to swerve. When they stopped to check, their car doors were scratched with marks like fingernails dragged across metal. But the most frightening story came from a nurse who walked home late from the Cinco Saltos hospital. She said she saw a wet, barefoot woman standing alone at the bus stop. Thinking she needed help, the nurse walked closer. But as she approached, the woman's head slowly tilted, revealing a face that looked drenched and pale and eyes completely black. The nurse froze. The woman whispered something in a language the nurse didn't recognize, then vanished piece by piece like smoke pulled away by the wind. The nurse quit her job the next week. And if you ever visit Cinco Saltos at night, locals will warn you not to look at the lake too long, because if she sees you staring, she might just stare back.
If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe the channel and give your suggestions in comment section.